In this video, I'm going to try to add some common species to the year list I still need, for instance rook, common gull and collared dove, and I'm also going to tell you what my spark bird is. Hi, I'm the Dutch birder, and 2025 is my 17th year of birding. This year I'm on a quest to document at least 250 different bird species. Join me on my quest through wetlands and forest of the small European country called the Netherlands. As I've mentioned before on this channel, last year Jordan from Bright Eyed Birding and myself started a Discord channel for other bird tubers. In the meantime, we've grown to 20 members already, which is very cool. And one of those members is Shana Cossette, and she had the idea of doing videos in which we tell what our spark birds are. And she makes a playlist of all those videos, so it's all combined. So check out the description for that playlist, which this video is also included. And if you don't know what a spark bird is, that is the bird species that got you into birding. Now for me, it wasn't a bird I saw in the wild which got me into birding, but a bird I saw on the field guide. Which bird that is, I'll tell later, but first let's start at the beginning. When I was a kid, I didn't have much affinity with nature like some other birders had. I was more into sports and playing video games. But I did have a paper route when I was 15. And what I would do was I had to wake up early, 5:30, to pick up the papers. But then I would set my alarm 20 minutes early so I could watch a TV show about nature. I can't remember the name of the guy in the video. It was a bit like the Steve Irwin videos, most of you probably know. It wasn't Steve Irwin, although I did like that program also. But it was another guy, but I forgot his name sadly. But I always loved those programs to watch before I had to get the papers. But my story really starts when I was about 20 years old. I was out with some friends, and there I met a girl who I really liked, and luckily she liked me back. So after dating for a couple of months, we started a relationship. And she had a little brother who was into birding. He went out with his dad on Sunday, and then he came back and he showed me in the field guide which species he saw. And in that field guide I saw a hoopoe. And I thought, wow, I didn't know those species existed. Those orange colors, wings that look like those of a butterfly, and then the beautiful crest the species has. So I thought to myself, well, when I'm out in nature, I'm going to check if I can find a hoopoe, so I could make him jealous for finding a rare bird. Well, of course, that was far harder than I had imagined. On one day I saw an orange bird sitting on the roadside, and it flew up into a tree when I drove by. So I thought, oh well, maybe that is a hoopoe. So I waited by the tree for like 20 minutes, and then it revealed itself, but it wasn't a hoopoe, but I didn't know what it was. So I took some notes, and when I got back to him, I told him what I had seen. And it turned out just to be a jay, a very common species in the Netherlands. And I've heard of that species, but I've never seen it in real life. And I thought, whoa, not only the hoopoe is beautiful, but there are many other species that are also beautiful. So that got me a little interested in birds in general, but I still wasn't a birder. So a couple of months later, my family-in-law decided to go to one of the water owls. And they chose Vlieland because my brother-in-law wanted to see an Alpine Accentor that was there, which is a very rare species in the Netherlands. I thought, okay, well, it's always nice to go to a water owl. We rented some bikes, and the first stop was the lighthouse where the bird had been seen. And there it was, sitting on a chimney. So he showed the bird to me, and that was my first very rare bird I had ever seen in my life. And I thought, whoa, this is very cool. Going out to see a special bird. So I wanted more of that. So together with my brother-in-law, I made some trips that year to see a gyr falcon, which we did. Also Jung's leaf warbler, we did see that. And then at the beginning of next year, there was a snowy owl on Texel. So I got to Texel with him and his father, and we did actually see the snowy owl. So then I was sold, and I went out on myself, twitching rare birds, to the point that I don't want to miss any new species that turns up here in the Netherlands. Well, my relationship with that girl is long over. I now have a wife and kids, which I'm very happy with. But the birding stayed. So that is my story of how I got into birding. Now let's see if we can find some of those species I need for the year list. There are also blackbirds sitting here in the fields. Could be rooks. Oh yeah, definitely rooks. But I have to turn the car. There's also a gull present. Which is a common gull. So 2 new species for the list. And a jackdaw. I also missed that one. So 3 potential new species. I have to quickly turn the car and then hopefully we can add some species to the list. Rooks are known for their large breeding colonies, unlike the visually similar carrion crow. Many of these colonies can be found near highway gas stations. In winter, they also gather in large flocks, often mixed with jackdaws. This particular rook, unlike many of its kind, allowed for a close-up view. As seen here, the rook is not entirely black, but has a slight purple sheen on its feathers. On average, a rook lives about 6 years. Jackdaws are the smallest corvids in the Netherlands. Unlike rooks and carrion crows, they do not build nests from twigs and trees, but instead breed in tree holes or specially made nest boxes. They are easily recognizable by the grey head, which contrasts with their mostly black plumage. In winter, jackdaws from more northern and eastern regions migrate to the Netherlands. These birds often have a more pronounced white collar on the neck, but distinguishing between subspecies can be difficult. However, the most distinct Russian jackdaws will stand out. So, that is 3 species added to the list. Weather is great today, contrary to the predictions. Willem and I had planned to go out birding today, but the weather forecast was so bad that we decided not to go and postpone it. But if I look at the weather now, we could have had a great day of birding. Well, we'll save that for another time. Now first, let's see if we can find some collar doves. Well, I've come across 4 doves already, but they're all wood pigeons. So that isn't going like it should. But I know they are here, because when I walk or bike, drive here, I always see some collared doves, but when I'm out to specifically film them, they are nowhere to be found. It's very typical. I'm also checking the grass for green woodpeckers here, because I know they are here. but when I have my camera with me, they're not here. When I have my camera at home, I will see them. So I don't get my hopes up. I see some collared doves, but they've flown away. Let's see if I can get them. Got him. The Eurasian collared dove spread rapidly across Europe in the 20th century, originating from Asia. Around 1900, it began expanding, with sightings in Austria and Hungary in the 1930s. The first Dutch record dates back to the 1940s. Its swift spread was due to a mild climate, abundant food in urban areas, and high reproduction rates. By the 1950s, it had become widespread in Europe. Today, the Eurasian collared dove is one of the most common dove species in the Netherlands. With the collared doves in the pocket, I'll end the video here. Have to get some dinner, then edit my weekly rare bird updates video. Please subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.